fund to match the funds that we were supposed to have free and clear from the county. Just so I have an understanding of what the COG is doing on that front, because they should be doing something. As I understand it, the new governor has articulated that he wants to fully and completely fund every homeless project under the sun. So I would hope that that includes backfilling general fund obligations of the cities that severely or severely and disproportionately impacted by the large and insane pension obligations that all of you guys impose upon us, even though I love you guys.
I am not aware of direct lobbying or legislative efforts to try to get Sacramento to do something. I am aware that there's a lot of meetings and conversations being had at the county to city level through the COG as well. They've been a big supporter of that.
So the question,
if Commissioner Lewis would like to make a motion to urge council to send a letter to the legislative body, I'm sure we can make that happen.
absolutely, I'm happy to do that. So assuming that I can actually do this without this being a notice thing, I would certainly motion that we utilize our advisory role as a commission to advise the city council to utilize every lobbying effort that the city is involved in to communicate with the governor and the legislature to backfill funding for Measure H matching, so that we can not have further general fund obligations that are intertwined with receiving our own money under Measure H.
Do we have a second?
You want to water that down just a little?
No.
I got it.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
And just can I
Are you
pose
opposed?
a question? You mentioned the noticing and proper notice. It's always been something I've always been uncomfortable with, the way that this commission has operated over the last couple of years. There is no noticing. There hasn't ever been any noticing, and we just make, but we don't have any sort of body of, notice in advance of a public that we're going to consider this, gives the public an opportunity to come in and share their thoughts before we actually make a decision and move and go forward with it. But it's never been on this agenda, not since I've been here. So, 2 cents, I guess that's about all it's worth.
Did you vote for that, Steve?
Yeah, but I guess so.
That motion passed 6-0.
If it's legal.
Could I just ask a question? When the county gets their money from Measure H, I should say.
Measure H, yeah.
Yeah, H. If indeed that money is not used, then they get that money every year. Is that correct? It's not just a one-time?
That's correct. It's there is a sunset. Was it 10 years? Yeah, 10 years.
Okay. Question, if that money is not dispersed to the cities, does the county have any ability to use that money for their general fund or pensions or whatever? Is that, somebody asked me that the other day and I couldn't answer it because I didn't know. If the money's not used, can the county use that money at their own discretion?
I'm not sure as to how it's written in terms of the tax measure, but obviously they advocated and they put money forth to get the tax measure specifically for homelessness. So I think, however much money is available at the end of the rainbow, I'm not sure, because I know that there is an aggressive plan to spend the money moving forward. The aggressive plan doesn't necessarily include giving the cities money directly. However, when you say, can they use it directly for their operations? Well, they're
Any other service?
Yeah, they're beefing up staffing. So if you beef up staffing, will that staffing end up staying eventually? I don't know. So I can't answer that wholly. All I can say is that there are a lot of programs and services and staffing levels that they are beefing up that are not directly coming to West Covina or any other city. It's the county as a whole.
Thank you.
Any other talk on Measure H?
Yeah, I got something.
Okay, go ahead.
Since everybody else Dude, you act surprised that we're not getting anything. This is why you don't vote for taxes, dude. It wasn't designed for us, okay? We're not gonna get anything.
Well,
You gotta be kidding me. Your party put this in. We're not gonna get anything. What do you think the money's gonna go for? It's gonna go up to create jobs. No. Okay, we are 1% of LA County, so we should be getting $2 or $3 million, not 42,000.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna
It's
get
a
anything. We
question.
were never gonna get anything. And so how much you complain about it, it doesn't matter, because we're not gonna get anything, because that's how it was designed. This is why you don't vote for taxes, just so you know.
Well,
And I'm done.
The issue is money coming back to us for us to
No,
make
of course
decisions?
not.
But that doesn't mean the money isn't being used.
The money
in
will be used for
worthwhile
more
projects.
jobs. It will,
Well, no,
the
I-
county will waste it like they waste everything else.
Well, I saw some statistics just a couple of weeks ago.
That's it. I
Well,
don't
no,
care
wait,
about your,
wait,
it's
let me
common
finish.
sense, dude.
That Measure Age funds in the first year found temporary housing for 22,000 people and permanent housing for 7,500 people. That's 30,000 people.
And how many are in West Covina?
That's,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Zero.
That's the first thing I
These are human
said, was the
beings.
issue that I raised was whether or not we have the right to decide on a reasonable share of how the funding is going to be used. That's the issue. But apart from that, that doesn't mean the money isn't being used for worthwhile projects that are helping the homeless. And what I've seen being reported is that it is being used and there are people actually being helped with those funds.
And there you go. We're still 10 million people short. Okay.
All right, anything else on Measure H? I think we're pretty well covered. Next thing is ad hoc committee reports. We have ad hoc committees in place, but they're all gonna change, right?
Yeah, a lot of the players may change in terms of filling, but some are going to stay the same, so, yeah. I mean, the committees may change because people may decide they don't want to be on a respective committee. But I wanted to put the homeless subcommittee update just because I wanted to ask Glenn if there was any meetings or anything that had I specifically put that on the agenda knowing that this has been a hot topic issue, and how the committee has been moving
I
along.
lost one of them. Somebody got promoted. I lost my other half. But Nick and Tam don't. They rely on us, so it's just been me. So no.
Yeah, Letty's
Letty.
a commissioner.
Letty's got now on the council. So I've done just with Sue and Gina. That's it.
Okay. Any questions?
They all can change, like CBDGs.
Yeah, it's all going to change anyway.
So
We gotta-
since the ad hoc committee was established, and I don't remember when that was, last summer,
May, I think. Yeah.
have there been any meetings of that committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a
CIP,
few
yeah.
meetings. We had a few
CIP.
meetings.
CDBG met before that, or just before that, so the CDBG one will meet again shortly.
No, I meant of the homeless subcommittee.
Oh, yeah, I think there was one meeting that I know of, we met with some staff, and beyond that, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then obviously in conjunction with that, we also had the homeless plan that was set up with the consulting group and all that stuff. That was all interspersed with that, and I know, well, Glenn, you were there for that, right? For the homeless plan?
Been to every meeting.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
I don't miss
was-
many meetings. So.
Yeah, no. I mean, that was obviously, kind of an important meeting in terms of, realizing the rather sizable uphill battle that we are going to have with regard to Measure H funding. So it was a very disappointing and disheartening meeting to me. So I'll leave it there.
Sorry about that.
Actually, the CBDG ad hoc committee is sitting right here, us three right here. But
I think we do more for the homeless than.
Probably, speaking of that, I did want to let you all know that Love Inc., I believe, had closed their doors. So that was one of our CDBG recipients, so along the lines of the homeless update.
Love Inc.
Love Inc.
So what are we down to, 7 then now? 7?
That's all right.
All right, any more on that subject? We'll move on then to the commissioner reports. Any reports? Anybody have?
It's been a while since our last meeting.
Been a long time.
I seem to remember an election and a few candidate forums that were very important. And we had the Veterans Day event that was pretty well attended, and a couple of historical society meet and greets. So been to a few different events. So.
Right. Anybody else have anything? One thing I think about this year, like commissioner reports, like I'm on the senior ad hoc committee, but we should do something and actually go to the senior center as a group as opposed to me just stopping by there. And I think we should look into that when we get a firm group here, and we can maybe do a better job than we did last year. Yeah. I stopped by one time to see over there, and it didn't happen to, she was gone, but I did talk to the gentleman in the front there. It's interesting to go over there and see what's going on. It's renovated well, but we think we should pay more attention to it. Anything else, Paul?
Nothing.
All right. Well, do you have any events? Everybody read what we got?
Items to be agenda.
Oh, items to be agenda, I'm sorry.
Yeah, something I'd like to bring up. A year ago, the West Covina Historical Society commissioned a bust of West Covina's first mayor, Benjamin Franklin Maxon, and they spent $16,000 for that, and actually the unveiling is going to be a week from Friday at the Historical Society. But I spoke to Forrest Tennant about this, and they're planning on doing a bust like that every year for a historical figure from West Covina. The next one is going to be the original Hearst from the Hearst Ranch. But they don't have a place where they can be displayed for the public to actually see them. And what Forrest would like to see done is he's willing, as the guy who runs the Historical Society, he and his wife, that they would donate these busts, and they would continue doing one each year, to the city of West Covina if there's a place in City Hall where they could be displayed to the public. So I think, I don't know if it's something that our commission would consider, or if it should go to some part of city staff, but I did tell Forrest that I would bring it up to the commission, and if we can agendize it and consider it, they would make those donations every year to the city, which is just the one proviso that they're displayed somewhere for the public to have access to them. And I do have a flyer that shows the first one, if would like to take a look at it.
What are the busts made out of?
Bronze.
So we have to be careful of that. So yeah, so staff will get together and we'll come back with some suggestions if that's what the commission would like, because obviously we need to be concerned on where we put it so that it doesn't get stolen.
Yeah, right.
Would it be something to be held done outside? Could it be placed outside?
Well, unfortunately, because it's pretty removable, that's when we had the Corey Lytle bronze
Statue.
sculpture damaged, because bronze is such a commodity. They'll take the plaques right off the walls, so. Okay.
Anything else to be itemized?
I
Agendized?
have one.
Okay.
So there's a particular parcel of property that's kind of interesting to me that the city owns. It's designated open space. It's on Cameron Avenue between East Hills Drive and Heritage Park. It's designated open space as it stands now. And I was curious, just because I tend to walk around there, and I see the area, and sometimes with a lot of trash, and it's just generally a mess. And considering the premium that we have on, or the lack of a premium of open space that we have in the city, and the size of that parcel, I was curious to see whether or not this committee or this commission would be interested in seeing what opportunities might be out there for that parcel of land, considering its location. Maybe, and I do fear that it will eventually be a location where homelessness will propagate just because of all the overburden in the back portions of the lot. I mean, for the most part, the part you can see from the street is just grass for the most part, but yeah, it'd be nice to have either, maybe a parquet, something over there, or, potentially, we can utilize that for more walking spaces or trails or something like that in the future. Obviously, I know people have indicated a desire to improve and expand Heritage Park. Obviously, those are certainly options. I don't know what the council is necessarily going to do with those things, but just considering that opportunity is there, perhaps we take advantage of it and do something with it. I know, I know there are people who will say, oh, another park in South Hills or something like that, but honestly, it's really one of the only areas that we have open space. To me, it's sad that opportunities on the west side of the city were not taking advantage for that, but that's neither here nor there, and obviously I don't have any control over that. So to the extent that we can take advantage of those things, I think it'd be something that I'd like to consider if we can.
That's on the south side of Cameron?
Yeah.
I mean, what is that, about 10 acres?
Yeah, something like that. It's pretty sizable.
Yeah, it's nice size.
Yeah.
It's about 1,000 feet long or something like that.
We are aware of the trash issue. Mike and I have addressed that. We just talked last week about.
We addressed it this morning.
Yeah, so we talked about that last week at our meeting, and that was a contractor issue, and that kind of kept going back and forth before. It has nothing to do with the reorganization and
Right.
transition of park staff. It was something that was happening. It was kind of like this with contractors of like, no, it's yours, no, it's mine,
Right.
So we did address the trash and the weeds in the right of way all along Cameron from Heritage Park all the way to Barranca. But we can come back and give you an update about options, potential uses for that property, and go from there.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, see, now we'll go ahead to go to upcoming events. Mike, I noticed that West Covina Youth Basketball opening ceremony, if there's time to be determined, has that been determined?
It has not been determined because we're still waiting for, well, they've reached out to the Clippers, and the Clippers are coming out to do something at the ceremonies, and we're supposed to have that answer by tomorrow.
By tomorrow?
We'll send everybody an update.
All right. And then January 21st at 11 o'clock, Martin Luther King celebration, City Hall courtyard. And concerts here we talked about. And then Thursday, February 14th, 1 p.m. Valentine's Day lunch at Cortez Park Community and Senior Center. Anything else that anybody has for upcoming events?
Just a question for Mike, what's the status of the pool?
The district, well, I mean, obviously the district's handling the pool. My understanding has been, demolition's done. Other than that, I haven't seen construction start, so I've just only seen the demolition. My understanding is July of 2020 is when it's supposed to be completed.
Was the contract let?
Yes, it was, and it's been a while now, but I'm not sure who it went to.
Anything else? Any subject? Anything? All right. Seeing that, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.